It was a chilly morning in the heart of the city. The streets were buzzing with the usual rhythm of people heading to work, cars honking, and shopkeepers opening their doors. The smell of fresh bread and pastries drifted from a small bakery on the corner, pulling in customers eager for warm croissants and steaming coffee. On the cold pavement just outside the bakery door sat a woman in her late 40s. Her clothes were worn, her coat thin against the morning wind, and her face carried the weight of exhaustion. She pulled her knees closer to her chest, clutching a small bag that contained all she owned. Her name was Evelyn. She had once lived a very different life. A job, a small apartment, friends she could call on. But life had unraveled in a series of cruel blows. First losing her husband in a work accident, then falling behind on rent after medical bills piled up. Eventually she had nowhere left to go. The bakery doorway had become her refuge, though she never stepped inside. The bakery door swung open again and again as customers came and went. People brushed past her without a glance, their arms filled with warm bread and sweet pastries. A few people avoided her eyes deliberately, pretending she wasn't there. Others looked quickly then turned away. Evelyn didn't beg. She didn't call out or extend her hand. She simply sat quietly, hoping that maybe today someone might notice her, not just as a shadow on the street but as a person. Her stomach ached from hunger. The smell of fresh cinnamon rolls made it worse, but she couldn't bring herself to ask for anything. She whispered softly to herself, "Just hold on, just hold on." Inside the bakery, a little girl named Lila, no more than 7 years old, tugged at her mother's hand. She had big curious eyes, her hair tied in 2 playful braids. As her mother ordered coffee and a bag of bread, Lila wandered toward the glass window, pressing her palms against it. Through the glass she saw Evelyn sitting on the ground outside. Unlike the adults rushing past, Lila didn't look away. She stared, her small heart sensing something was wrong. The woman outside didn't look like the other people walking by. She looked sad. When her mother handed her a warm pastry, Lila took it, but instead of eating it, she kept glancing back at the door. As her mother gathered their things, Lila slipped her hand free and pushed the bakery door open. The little bell above it jingled as she stepped outside, the warm air from inside quickly replaced by the cold morning breeze. Evelyn lifted her eyes and blinked in surprise. She hadn't expected a child to stop in front of her. Lila held the pastry tightly in her small hands, her face full of innocent determination. "Here," the little girl said softly, holding it out. Evelyn's lips trembled. "Oh, sweetheart, that's yours. You should keep it." But Lila shook her head. "You look hungry. Mommy bought me another one. You can have this." Evelyn hesitated. For so long she had been ignored, invisible, treated as though she didn't belong. But here was this child, this small, fearless child, seeing her, offering her something with no judgment, no hesitation. Tears welled in her eyes as she slowly reached out, her hands shaking. Thank you so much." Lila smiled brightly. "You're welcome." At that moment, Evelyn wasn't just receiving food. She was receiving recognition, dignity, and hope, all wrapped in the innocent kindness of a child. Just then Lila's mother stepped outside, alarm flashing across her face when she saw her daughter with the homeless woman. She rushed over quickly. "Lila," she exclaimed, "you can't just run out like that, I told you to stay close." But before she could scold her further, she noticed Evelyn's tear-filled eyes and the pastry in her hand. Her expression softened. I'm sorry," Evelyn whispered quickly, afraid of trouble. "I didn't ask her, I swear." Lila's mother crouched down slowly, looking at Evelyn more closely. For the first time she truly saw her, not just as someone sitting on the street but as a woman, a person who had suffered. Her heart ached. She placed a gentle hand on her daughter's shoulder. "You did a good thing, sweetheart," she said softly. Then, turning to Evelyn, she added, "Please wait here a moment." The mother stepped back inside the bakery, bought another bag filled with fresh bread, pastries, and a hot cup of tea. When she came out, she handed it to Evelyn. "This is for you," she said gently. Evelyn's eyes widened. I can't take all this. It's too much." But the woman insisted. "It's not too much. It's the least we can do." Evelyn took the bag with trembling hands. Warmth filled her chest, not just from the food, but from the kindness of strangers who had looked at her, really looked at her, and treated her as human again. By now, a few other customers exiting the bakery had paused to watch. Some smiled at Lila, moved by her innocence. One man slipped a bill into Evelyn's hand discreetly. Another woman knelt and asked if she was okay. For the first time in months, Evelyn didn't feel invisible. People were speaking to her, acknowledging her, showing her that she mattered. As she sipped the warm tea, tears rolled down Evelyn's cheeks. She thought of her husband who used to tell her, "No matter how hard life gets, there will always be good people out there." She whispered softly, "You were right." The pastry Lila gave her wasn't just food. It was hope. Hope that maybe tomorrow could be better, hope that kindness hadn't disappeared from the world. That morning, a little girl reminded everyone outside that bakery of something adults often forget. Kindness doesn't have to be big, expensive, or complicated. Sometimes, it's as simple as noticing someone who's been forgotten and sharing what you have. Compassion has no age. Even the smallest act of kindness, offered by the smallest hands, can carry the greatest weight. The world becomes brighter not because of grand gestures, but because of small, selfless ones that remind us we are all human and we all belong. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the Kind